What is up, super fam? I am Sensei Finito, and this is Battery CEO. And welcome to another episode of Marvel Bros, where we talk about all things Marvel and everything pop culture. So, Battery, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, we just got done with watching Free Guy, and oh my, this movie was a treat. Like
This movie was a
we
treat.
from the trailers, I'm pretty sure both of us thought this movie was going to be great, right?
Yeah,
But for different reasons. More so
yeah.
for an action movie, the action movie, maybe even not as serious as Ready Player One. Like that's what I was thinking of going to. But what it gave us was a very complex love and personal. Like I don't even know. Like this movie had
This
everything in
movie,
it.
I was about to say, this movie literally hit every beat that it could, like
Yeah.
throughout its entirety. I mean, it did not, it just didn't matter. Like we just had to stay along for the ride. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I think we were pleasantly like going along for the ride.
Yeah.
Yo, what is up with it, Tristan? Happy to see
Yo,
you in here. My
how's it
man said
going?
I'm seeing Free Guy on Tuesday. If you guys are new around here, the way we do our reviews is we'll do 15 minutes of non-spoilery review at the beginning, and then at the end we'll hit another 15 minutes talking about all the stuff that we loved about the movie, and some spoiler points here and there. Try not to give away the whole movie though. But I will say that Free Guy was like Battery was just saying, it was definitely a treat, and it was just something that I don't think we even expected it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were definitely pleasantly surprised going through the entire movie,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like we were the only ones either. It had a fairly well audience in
Hmm.
our city,
Hmm.
everyone just seemed like they were going along for the ride and didn't really know what to expect with the movie, but they were okay with that.
Yeah. I One of the things that I even said walking out, I was like, "Yo, this movie could win like movie of the year or like
Yeah,
best Oscar, like an Oscar, like a solid real reward." Problem is, the way Hollywood is. Obviously, the movie of the year, stuff like that, is probably going to go to a movie that most typical movie people aren't even into.
yeah. I've never ever heard
That's
of
just,
before ever.
that's just how the Academy works. Uh, and I'm so sad because I think anyone who watches this movie is going to really enjoy it.
Oh, definitely.
There's just so many, like, I don't know. This is just a beautiful movie. It really is.
It really is a wonderful movie. I didn't
I just wasn't
expect
ready.
any of the things that we were going to say.
Hmm.
I'm
Um,
not going to say anything, but were the cameos amazing? Yes, the
yeah.
cameos
You don't
were
even know.
definitely, yeah, the cameos were definitely amazing, bro.
Mhm.
And they definitely took us by surprise.
Yeah. Like, the whole
Like it
movie
was
was a
like,
surprise.
whoa. Yes, the whole movie was a surprise. The entire movie did a good job of
Mhm.
establishing its own narrative.
Yeah.
Like you know what you're getting into when you first go into the movie.
Yeah.
But other than that, you're just, it just
Yeah.
takes you on along for a ride.
The trailers do not tell you anything.
No
Like,
justice.
if you
It
think you
doesn't
know
just
what's
do
going to
that.
happen, you don't. Like, this movie threw us for a loop. I was just like, wow, we just got ambushed by one of the best movies I've ever seen in 2021. Honestly.
Honestly, there's just moments in there where the character depth just goes to a whole new level, and it's like
Hmm.
you honestly feel like there's sections where you
Hmm.
kind of feel like you're watching a different movie, and you
Yeah.
kind of have to bring everything back in together, and even all from the beginning to the ending, it just makes one great cohesive story
Hmm.
that I don't think we have ever got
Yeah.
before, like in this type of way. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like it and there's another story within a
Hmm.
story, so it's like,
Yeah.
bro, you have to be ready for it.
Yeah. And it sounds weird and maybe complex, but like, it's not too much at all. In fact, what Mark was saying about having a story within a story within a story, it's exactly that. But
Yeah,
it's so fluid and honest and a single piece. Oh, I just can't stress enough. This movie was written in such a great job. Like, such a
the
great
movie
way.
was written beautifully.
Yeah,
It was written beautifully.
everything had purpose. Like, and
Yeah.
like, there's so many things that happen that you don't even know are like important until like the end, and that's the movies like that. Oh,
Are always the best.
are always really good, and they made it like they gave everything purpose, and it wasn't like, okay, we're just gonna throw this in there, we're gonna throw this cameo in there, we're gonna we're gonna confuse them with this. It wasn't like that. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Um, the
It was
music was
truly
awesome.
awesome.
The
I
sound
loved
design,
the I loved the score that they had for
yeah, the score was
like
pretty
almost
awesome.
everything. Um, like one thing that I'll say is that this movie was visually breathtaking in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
The CGI didn't hurt the movie, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like, is the best way that I can put it.
Hmm.
I was a little nervous about that with like all the things that they were trying to
Hmm.
accomplish within this movie,
Yeah.
and I think that they actually did once again a tremendous job at just kind of tackling every single
Hmm.
everything from here to there, basically. Like,
Yeah.
just to put it lightly. And I just, man, this movie was great. And it to me, it was far better than Ready
Hmm.
Player One.
Yeah.
Like, just personally.
I
I
agree.
liked Ready Player One,
Ready Player
but
One was awesome.
this this hit
It
this
was
this
just a
had the
different level.
story, this had the action, this had the just everything that you could possibly want from it.
Hmm.
And you really don't know that it gives you everything that you need until you
Hmm.
get to the end of the movie. And
Yeah.
that's what I love. That's when I think that writers and directors and producers do a great job at their work, when
Hmm.
you don't know what's going on fully until you get to the end of a
Yeah.
movie, and then
Hmm.
it kind of wraps everything back around. And I think this
Yeah.
movie did an impeccable job
Hmm.
with that.
Um,
You feel the same way?
I agree. I agree, man.
Yeah,
There's, like Tristan was saying, there's so many cameos in this
yeah.
movie. There's like 3 or 4 in particular that
That are
like you
like,
don't know
whoa.
unless you've watched a lot of movies and you know who certain people are.
Hmm.
Uh, and I was like, yo, that's so and so's voice. Yo, that's so
Hmm.
and so's voice. Yo, that's so and so's body. I don't know. Possibly, we're not sure. You know, there's a lot of moments like that. Ryan Reynolds killed it.
Hmm.
He killed it.
He did an amazing job.
Hmm. And I don't want to say he was like Deadpool. It was like a whole nother character for Ryan Reynolds, even
Yeah.
though it is Deadpoolish. Like
Hmm.
he, like the way he made this movie, I didn't feel like I was watching a Deadpool movie,
Oh
which
no, not at all.
which was something I was a little worried about. You know,
Hmm.
um, I think one gripe, if I did have a gripe, was I wish this movie was R, and that, but like it didn't need to be R.
Yes,
Yeah,
and that's what I'll say. I don't think it like the last couple of things that we've seen that have been PG-13. It's hurt them that they haven't
yeah,
been R. And I don't think that I don't think that the lack of an R rating hurt this movie. I
oh, not at all.
honestly think it'll benefit this movie, especially with the implementing of all the streamers that they did,
Hmm.
and all that type of stuff. Like, yeah, bro, I think that this should be a video game.
Hmm.
Tristan said, I heard the director of this movie might direct Deadpool 3. I would be down for that, to be honest.
I mean, I would be down for that as well. You know, Ryan Reynolds was a producer for this movie, so maybe
Mhm.
that's something that'll happen down the road. I don't know. Um, there was just so many treats in this movie. Like I didn't through the trailer. You know, we're in the game, but then we're also in real life. And this movie did a great way of balancing both worlds and not like
I
with
don't think we were in real life too much at all in the first initial trailer. Like, I
yeah,
didn't know. Yeah, yeah.
and but like it's balanced really well. Like they have a great connection between why the people in the outer world kind of matter to the what's inside the game. Um, their use of, like Tristan said in the comments, of streamers, because in this world, this game is a huge, it's a huge thing, and the way they kind of utilize that tool in this movie was awesome, and this movie's hilarious.
Yeah,
It's
this
really
movie
hilarious,
is really funny. Yeah,
and it's not forced either, which is awesome.
yeah. I really liked. I liked the like even the other characters of the world, so to
Hmm.
speak. I
Yeah.
like how everyone had a little bit of character development.
Hmm.
Every character had substance, so to speak. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
even the ones that are just here and there,
Yeah.
gone like hit and miss, like
Hmm.
here one day, gone the next, or whatever you want to say. Like every single character really did matter, and
Hmm.
I really like being able to see everything that we really, all the depth that we got to saw, all the
Yeah.
depth that we got to see with the in with the entire world. Like there was a world that they built. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And I like the world that they built
Yeah.
in Free Guy. You know, I liked that. It was nice.
Yeah. And it was built so well, and it made you care about the characters so much that I felt like I was a real person in their world watching the
Yeah.
game. And not only that, it made me want to play a game just like it, a
Oh
game that
yeah.
was that immersive.
Yeah,
And we were just talking
definitely.
about it, how it has GTA vibes. It has
Oh yeah. Big
so many.
GTA vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, big GTA vibes all the way through. Actually, I've just been playing GTA
Hmm.
a lot more recently on the stream and stuff, and it was wild to see this game. I mean, to watch this movie, you know what I mean? And then
Hmm.
just be coming from that video game world
Yeah.
as well, and it's just like it was just really crazy to kind of see the different things, and
Yeah.
it was really I want to say it was a great take that
Hmm.
I don't think we could have got from
Hmm.
anyone else. You know,
Hmm.
like I said when leaving the theater, we're almost to our spoilery section, but I don't know if we need to get too spoilery with this one.
Yeah.
That would be awesome to see him in Fortnite, though.
I
Tristan,
wouldn't.
I would not doubt it at all if we saw
After
Free
watching
Guy.
this movie, I wouldn't doubt that he would be in
I
Fortnite.
wouldn't doubt if we saw this pop up everywhere. Like this is one of those. I feel like this could be one of those movies that kind of change pop culture a little bit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like definitely inflicts on pop culture
Hmm.
and where certain things head.
Hmm.
I think Ready Player One tried to do that, but I don't think it had a like. Even though it had a lot, it wasn't enough. You know.
Hmm.
And the same thing with Space Jam. Like this movie has done things that other movies have tried to do way better, like way
Yeah.
better with a better story, with a better background,
Hmm.
everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, but before we get too deep into spoilers, what was I about to say? I lost my train of thought from what we were saying. Damn. Yeah,
If
I
I
lost
was,
it.
I think another thing I'll add, before we kind of get into spoilers, the villain was awesome in this movie,
Yes,
or
he was.
the antagonist for the movies per se did a great job. You know, he had purpose. He had a vision that you can kind of feel. Takiti, what's his name? I can
Taika,
Taika
Taika
Waititi.
Waititi. Yeah.
Him as an actor, like you were saying, I just heard Korg. I just saw
Yeah,
Korg.
he's just cord the whole time.
Yeah,
That's all. That's
and
all it was. Every time he spoke, I just heard
but it was
cord.
so cool and it was so perfect, and it
Mm-hmm.
met it did such a good job of building to the world. Um, but I don't this I can't stress this enough. This movie is so good, and you guys have to go check this movie out. Um,
For real.
every bit of it, I enjoyed. I really did. I would watch it tomorrow. I was like, damn, I
I honestly would. Yeah, I feel
can't
you there.
watch it through any streaming service because it's only in theaters right now, which
Oh
is a good
shit.
thing because you know. Do you see a sequel? I don't know if we can get a sequel.
I think we could get a sequel.
Yeah,
I think we could get a sequel if they want to milk it,
yeah,
so to speak. I don't think we need a sequel. This is very similar to the Tomorrow War,
yeah,
where it was so good that it was one. It could be a one and done
yeah.
without any issue.
Very similar to like Jungle Cruise. You think the way it ends? You know, it doesn't necessarily need a
Oh
sequel, but if they
yeah, I
wanted
see what you're
to,
saying.
they could do a sequel. You know?
Yes, but I think Jungle Cruise has more stepping stones to make a sequel, so to
Yeah.
speak. You know what I
Okay.
mean? They have more. They definitely have more of a more leg room, I guess you could say,
Hmm.
to make a sequel.
Hmm.
The way this movie ends, it ends in very much of a one and done type of scenario, which
Yeah.
I love. It makes the movie so much more cohesive and
Hmm.
so much more, like a straight shot forward.
Yeah.
Um, I I just don't think I don't think I could have even seen anyone else acting in this movie. I feel
Yeah.
like every single
Everyone
person
was perfect.
was perfect for their role,
Hmm.
for just everything. And uh, I was even pleasantly surprised with some of the actors that they chose to put
No,
in the
for real.
movie. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I think we got what's his name from Spider-Man, right? Isn't that his friend? Isn't that dude, or is that not him with the
I,
long hair, or who is that? Someone else?
oh no, I think that's
I
someone
can't think
else.
of who that is. I
Hmm.
can't think of what his name is, but I was even surprised to see him in the movie, and he was super. Like
Hmm.
everybody was really good at
Yeah.
with their role.
Um. Before we kind of get into spoilers, uh, again, this movie had everything. It had romance. It had comedy. It had serious dialogue. It had like teary moments. It had explosions and gunshots and like things you
Everything.
wouldn't even imagine being in this movie, considering it's WB, right? Or
Nah, I don't
Fox.
think it's. If it was WB, I think it would have been out on HBO Max.
Um. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. There's just so many things that are unexpected. There's awesome cameos. The CGI was fantastic. The
Yeah,
performances were great all around. Um, but the world they built itself was just, was a good time. It was a good time. Um, but before we get into spoilers, real quick, Mark, we'll probably do this again at the end of the video as well. Um, if you were to, what would your scale on the Marvel Bro be from a 1 to 5 for this movie?
Oh, on a 1 to 5 right now.
Yeah.
Um, I think this movie was a. I honestly think this movie was a 5. Like I
I
really
think
do
so
think
too.
I think it was a
I think
5.
so too. This movie was a
I
5.
don't. This movie was definitely a 5,
Like,
bro. Like
you guys
I
aren't
don't
ready.
think I don't think there could have been anything really to make this movie like
Yeah.
to make it better, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like,
Hmm.
um, Tristan said spin-offs can happen, right? I mean, nah,
Maybe.
I
I don't
don't
think
think
so, but
I
maybe.
don't think so. Like, like if there was another movie, it would have almost nothing to do with the first movie. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, just to put this in perspective, I would say that there can be a 2 of this the same way that there was a 2 of the Lego movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like in
Hmm.
the way that got, it just expanded on the world that we already
Hmm.
knew, I guess you could say, and then
Yeah.
made it a little bit more different and expanded some more. I think we could do that with the second Free Guy movie,
Hmm.
basically,
Okay. Okay. Well,
if there was one.
now I think it's time to get
Oh
into
yeah.
spoiler talk. If you guys haven't watched the movie, please, you need to watch it first. I hope you don't want it to get spoiled because this movie is a treat. It's exactly what we need right now.
Yeah.
In
And now
the
we're about to
world we
talk,
are.
and we need to talk about it freely and
Yes.
happily.
Uh,
Yo, that you guys are basically going to get a whole different reaction now because this is with everything that we know about the movie, not trying
yeah.
to sugarcoat anything, bro. That was so amazing, bro.
Yeah.
That movie was so good, bro. Like from the beginning, I could not believe like how good it was. Like I was just
Yeah.
like, oh shit,
Yeah.
like this is the like
Like,
from like the zoom down into the city, like when it said Free Guy and the dude was just falling like,
mhm,
yeah, yo, I was like, this movie is going to be the
yeah.
shit. Like that's what I knew right then
Mhm.
and there.
Uh, I know one thing I did want to talk about was all the cameos. Okay.
Yo, the
So,
cameos were ridiculous.
speaking of the point you just said, Channing Tatum is in this movie. Yo,
Yeah,
I didn't even know
I
he
was
was in
not
the
ready.
That was a
I think they
complete
did a good
surprise.
job of not putting forth they capitalized on all the streamers that was going to be in the movie, so they didn't
I
have to talk
recognize
about any of the other cameos.
Ninja, but I don't know about. I
Any of the other
recognize
ones?
another dude, but I don't know who the other ones were.
I knew about most of them. I've watched most of them. I've watched most of those streamers before, but I haven't watched them all to the point where I could think of them all right off the top of
Yeah.
my head. Ninja, I know for sure. Pokimane, I know. And then all the other ones, I've watched a couple of videos on one of the dudes before because he does stream help type of things as well, other than
that's
doing
how
his
I know that
regular
dude.
stream. Yeah. And then there was two like that. So there was two dudes that was like that, and then I watched the other one as well. I really liked the weird dude that lived in his mom's house that was tripping
That was
on
funny.
him.
That
He was
was
like,
funny.
"You're 22 and you live with your mom." I was like, "22? What the hell?" I was like, "That's not even a big age. My man's not even 30. What are you talking about?"
That was hilarious though. That whole twist with him, and another cameo, is pretty awesome. We're pretty sure Hugh Jackman is in this movie.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the voices.
I'm pretty sure The Rock is in this movie.
Yeah, another one of the voices.
We didn't check the credits. I mean, probably should have, but I'm pretty sure The Rock.
Yeah, we didn't check the credits. You're right.
I'm pretty sure The Rock, Hugh Jackman, and I'm even sure John Cena's body was used in this movie, low key.
I don't know John Cena's body that much, my guy.
His body just resembled John Cena to me. I don't know if I'm just seeing things, but dude,
you might be seeing what you want to see.
The dude's body looks like John Cena.
Yeah, dude.
For me, I don't know. I just pictured the whole. Yeah, he was pretty funny.
Dude seemed like a whole, his own character, in his own act, it just I liked it. I liked everything about that.
The way they kind of utilize code and I don't know. I don't want to say this movie called out the gaming industry.
Yes, it did.
Specifically Activision.
I don't think this is what I'll say. I don't think it purposely called out Activision. I think it was calling out game companies just in general, and fact that Activision is up in our face right now.
Yeah, they're big.
I think that's why, because I think that's where everyone's head is going to go to when they see this movie, especially with Taika and how he was acting. That's definitely the state of Warzone right now, basically.
That kept
literally, that's the state of Warzone. What he's saying, everything that Taika was built on was Tristan said, "Give me some details about the character cameos." All right, Remy was laughing, and then Hannah said, "I definitely thought it was going to be John Cena when they first showed his body." Yeah, yo, I don't know. I just don't know John Cena's body like that, yo.
So, literally, for The Rock and for Hugh Jackman,
for a lot of the names that we said,
you don't see their faces.
They're just the voices.
You just hear the voice.
The only people you see are Channing Tatum and then the streamers, and that's basically
and that's pretty much it. But they do it in such a cool way, and it's awesome.
Everything is so good, yo. When it just cuts to the streamers and they're talking about the game, even that is just in itself, it's so authentic. It's so authentic.
Yeah,
and that's what this movie was. It was authentic. It didn't feel like a reskin of Ralph Breaks the Internet, or a reskin of Ready Player One, or a reskin of the Lego Movie. You know what I mean? It felt like its own thing. America? I don't know what you mean.
It did get a little political with America and how we kind of deal with our gun situation. That was definitely in there.
Yeah. That was
very subtle though. It wasn't like
a very brief moment. A very brief moment. I was surprised. I was surprised. The Captain America reference was dope. Yeah, that was dope. Yo, there are some crazy references. We're definitely not going to spoil those references right there, because I
Yeah,
think those are awesome.
that's an awesome treat to be surprised about. But Cap,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
definitely a Cap
Just
reference in
know
there.
that
Just be,
Captain America, yo, like that's all you gotta.
and that's just the tip of the iceberg. And
Yeah,
oh man,
definitely. That entire run right there was so awesome,
it
bro.
was literally one of the coolest things that
Like
I've seen
everyone
in
was
a
like,
long time. Me and Mark were
you
just
know
like,
what I mean?
"Oh
Like,
my god! Oh my god!"
and that's what I'll say is that even though they had little, like, the pop culture references weren't as big as they've been in Space Jam, Ralph Breaks the
Mhm.
Internet, and
Even Ready
that
Player
other one
One.
that I was talking about, Ready Player One. Like the one, like Free Guy didn't have huge pop culture references, but they had huge small pop culture references. You
Yeah,
know what I
and they
mean?
and they
Like,
were huge, big
and they,
impacts.
I was about to say that, and they utilized it well. Like we
Mhm.
see multiple things that are just like, oh yeah, bro, like you know what that is, no matter where you come from. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like like, and it gets more and more through the movie. I'll say that is
Mhm.
like the weapons and shit progress to
Mhm.
be more and more relatable to a present day pop culture. Like
Yeah.
we start way back in the past with the portal reference, and
Mhm.
then we come all the way to right now with the
Yeah.
references that we were just talking about. So
Yeah.
it really is amazing to watch it, like kind
Mhm.
of watch the entire story unfold in
Mhm.
front of your eyes, so to speak.
Um, there's definitely a pretty awesome love story in this movie that and the
Mhm,
way they kind of made it work was fantastic. Like,
mhm.
again, the writing for this movie, I cannot stress that enough. How great this movie was written, for the characters and for their character development, for the bigger. Oh,
Definitely.
it's just one of the. It's always cool to have a decent love story, and this one goes in pretty deep, and you don't even know
Oh
until the end.
yeah.
And I I just loved everything about this movie, man.
I could not agree more. This movie was so
Mhm.
freaking good, bro. And we just couldn't, we were like, oh my God. And then it was so good because like I could even hear like the people behind us. I could hear
Yeah,
the
they were
dude
like,
explaining
"Yo."
like stuff to his girlfriend would ask a question or something, and the
Mhm.
dude would be like, oh, that's you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and then even the people in front of us, like everybody was so intrigued
Mhm.
and absorbed into the movie that
Mhm.
they didn't like. It was a good vibe in the theater entirely.
Ooh, Tristan, the fights were fantastic.
Are the fights cool? Yeah, the fights
They
were good.
were honestly like, okay, if I was like, they were like John Wick hand to
They
hand
were
combat,
they
like that
actually
ass.
it got really serious with the
Yeah,
fighting like at moments, and I was like, whoa,
yeah,
like I was like, bruh, this is what like
like with the gunplay and everything. Like, it was awesome.
yeah.
Uh, that was something they did a really good job with. But like, unlike John Wick, John Wick for the most part, most of it's like with one cut. They did. There was longer scenes of fighting and stuff like that in this movie, but they weren't all one shot for the most part. But
Oh
like the
yeah.
way they did it looked so good, and it felt like I was watching Ryan Reynolds actually fight. And I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
was there for most of them. I don't think
That's
they
what I
ever
was
had to.
I was gonna say that too. It seems like he definitely was doing all of his own
Mhm.
stunts because it didn't like there wasn't that cut where it's just the back of
Yeah.
back of his head and he's
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It wasn't
Yeah.
anything like that. You saw Ryan
Mhm.
Reynolds in all of his awesomeness, like
Yeah.
they were definitely doing gung fu like in a law and
Mhm.
like three or four like different parts of the
Mhm.
movies. Like there's
Yeah.
just entire fight scenes that are using
Mhm.
basically gung fu. So it's like, yo, it's basically that
Yeah.
movie was I mean, bro, I just can't say it enough. That movie was awesome. Like
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Um. Let's see what else. I mean,
But I think the fights were really cool. The action overall was really cool, and I
Yep.
loved the use of explosions and all of that. I
Mhm.
think the use of the entire GTA type Saints Row vibe
Yeah.
of game, that was a good way to go for it because
Mhm.
like I liked that they were even pushing kind of like a little uh I guess you can say an NPC agenda, so to
Yeah.
speak. Like,
Hmm.
and even that was really cool to see.
Hmm. If I was
Happening in the background.
this movie was like, it was like GTA, Saints Row, Minecraft, uh, Lego, like all in one. Like,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
there's just so
Lego,
many
yeah. Lego
awesome
movie
things.
meets GTA meets like I don't even know what else like because there's this movie bruh,
You guys have to go watch this movie. This movie
you
was,
guys.
and I can't stress that enough. I've said it over and over at this point, but man, this movie is definitely one of my favorite movies so far, even better than the Marvel movies we've seen um, to this point.
Meaning
Uh,
like what? Like
like
Black
Black
Widow?
Widow,
Oh, okay.
and even like, because I love Loki. Loki was like my favorite so far this year, and this is maybe
Hmm.
up there, if next to it, if not next to it, even better, in my opinion. Like, I just enjoyed this movie so much in terms of, like, because it gave us everything that you typically want in an action movie, and it made everything make sense. I didn't feel like one thing was neglected, like what happens in a lot of the other movies. Because there's certain things,
Mm,
like in Ready Player One, I thought were a little neglected, But this
mhm.
movie was so well balanced, and I was not ready for it. I don't think anyone is.
Yeah, yeah. This movie definitely does a good job of being super leveled out,
Yeah.
and the pacing is done very nicely to the point where like you're following the beats, but you don't
Hmm.
know how many beats per minute it is, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're following it, and then sometimes it speeds up, and then sometimes it slows down, and then sometimes it speeds back
Hmm.
up. But no matter what, you're always just going with
Hmm.
the tempo, and you're never really like
Yeah.
agitated or irritated about where that
Hmm.
tempo is taking you, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciated that fact as well. And like I said, coming from playing GTA so much and then going into seeing this movie, it was like, whoa, like bro, like my
Yeah.
brain was like I wanted my brain was like gonna explode because it was like I
Hmm.
like you were saying, it just felt like we were in the movie, like playing the
Yeah.
game, like everything just felt very authentic.
Hmm.
As if we were playing a video game, honestly. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of how I felt. I felt invested as if I
Hmm.
was just watching one long ass cutscene from a
Hmm.
from a video game.
Yeah.
Like if they made a free guy video game, I would definitely hop on that
To
motherfucker.
that level would be insane. You know, like that's a game that's going to be a part of everyday lives. You know, very similar to how Ready Player One kind of depicted that. You know, but with Ready Player One, the world was not an okay place right now, and so people needed that escape. You know,
Yeah,
with this game was just a popular game. You know,
I
and
need to make
so
guy.
that would be pretty awesome. Uh,
I'm doing it
but yeah, I
tomorrow.
mean, that's about all I think I had. I don't want to spoil. Like, there's just so many awesome moments in this movie that I want you guys to kind of experience
Hmm.
for yourselves, because, like we said, this movie's a treat, man. This movie is a treat, and I can't
Definitely.
I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more, bro. This movie is definitely just a roller coaster of amazingness, and
Hmm.
like the moments where it gets serious, it gets really serious and it
Yeah.
gets really deep in
Hmm.
those moments. And I think it just makes the movie so authentic, man.
Hmm.
This movie was an authentic uh masterpiece, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Like you just said though as well, I want you guys all to make sure you watch this movie, check it out. This is definitely one worth seeing. Like I think I don't think this would have been better for me per se if we saw it in the IMAX,
It
like
would have
if
been a
that
good
was a
time, though. It
thing.
would
I
have
think it
definitely
would
been
have
a good
been a
time.
good time, but I think we would have been a little bit more nitpicky on
Hmm.
like the CGI, possibly just having
Yeah.
that huge screen and whatnot, and all the everything being like enhanced or whatever you want to
Hmm.
say. Uh, but it was just a great watch, yo.
Yeah.
I hope we see Free Guy, or blue shirt guy, whatever you want to call him. I hope we see him implemented into these video games of pop
Hmm.
culture more, like
Yeah.
from here. And I mean, to do everything that they did in that movie, they must have something up their sleeve,
No,
because
for real.
that movie was like the Fortnite of pop culture right
Hmm.
now.
Yeah. Uh, and not only that, Ryan Reynolds, man, he's killing it. He's killing it right now because all the projects he's been involved with ever since Deadpool have done so well. You know,
Yeah.
up until that, he was in great movies, but let me tell you, I don't know. He's just at a different level right now. Um, and honestly, I don't think anyone else is there. Maybe The Rock, maybe Kevin Hart, maybe Dave Bautista. Those are the people that are up there that are doing really great right now. Um,
Mm.
for the general audience, your typical moviegoer. Um, and I love people that are involved with movies like that. And I'm liking like this movie had everything we wanted, but it had a very serious underlying theme that was awesome. And so I'm happy we're seeing a little more seriousness from these different actors, and I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of these movies are giving these actors um the ability to spread their wings, so to speak, like you were
Hmm.
saying. We don't get to see actors in serious roles or
Hmm.
something like that. They get that comedy label slapped on them, and then that's
Hmm.
just it that they get to do.
Yeah.
But now with all these movies, like you're saying, we really get to see that, how much range all these people can
Yeah.
actually have.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to it, and I
Hmm.
just can't wait to see where Brian Reynolds goes. Deadpool 3 is going to be amazing.
It's gonna
Like,
be
you
pretty
know what I
awesome,
mean?
man.
Like,
Hmm.
I think we could imagine if we had a story as good as this one in Deadpool 3, though. Like, oh my God, bro. Like,
That could be pretty
it would
dope.
change the movie. It would change the
Hmm.
movie. The movies have been really good up
Hmm.
until right now. But now with the whole change with Marvel and all that good stuff,
Hmm.
Deadpool 3, man, I hope. And like
I don't think we're
Tristan was
ready.
saying, he thinks that we have the same director from this movie
Hmm.
as well. So
Hmm.
if that is all true, and if it, we can get a good concoction brewing, because like Deadpool is an amazing,
Hmm.
amazing. Ryan Reynolds is just so amazing, and I love that we didn't get Deadpool vibes from him. Like,
Yeah.
how when we saw Taika Waititi and was listening to him, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Korg. Like, we just can't
Hmm.
do anything but hear Korg.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds wasn't like that. It was like he was Guy. You know what I
Like it
mean?
felt
Like,
like he was
he
his own
was.
character, and that was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, exactly. He wasn't. It wasn't just a resleeve of the same character or
Hmm.
anything like that. It was a new character with his own emotions and his
Hmm.
own everything. And the last thing that I will say before we probably head out of here is that Guy's best friend is the best friend that we all need.
No, for real. And it
Like,
gets so real between them in this movie. Oh my god, like
he's the best friend that everyone needs,
so
because
good.
he stuck by what he felt, but he still was sticking by his boy at the same
Yep.
exact time. And then
Yeah.
in the end, when he needed him most, he was there, bro. And
Hmm.
it like that, I loved his
Hmm.
character so much. I loved everyone's character, and
Hmm.
that's like the last little icing on the cake I'll put
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah. Um. Again, real quick, on the Marvel Bros. Scale, out of 5, I think we both agree. This movie's a
Yeah,
5. This movie absolutely
5 out
killed
of
it.
5 for sure.
Hmm. Um. But with that
Acting,
said,
action,
yes,
comedy, drama,
everything.
everything, every single point that you need, it was there. I want to ask you one quick question.
Okay.
Did you predict anything?
I didn't.
Neither did
I didn't. And
I.
normally I do. I do. I
The
predict
one
stuff
thing I
all the time.
predicted early on was that Bro and her made Guy.
I didn't get that at all until we see that moment. You
Oh,
know.
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Um.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't get that. But
I got that. I got the vibes from that
Yeah.
very early on, because I was like, and then they was talking, and then once we talked, I was like, oh wait, I think I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then that came, but everything else was just like, whoa! It was like a brick wall just right in front of you that you just have no choice but to run straight face forward into.
Yeah, watch this movie, guys, at your local theater. You're not going to regret it. It's a great movie.
Definitely.
Before we head out, please make sure to follow us on all of our social medias at Marvel Bros 23 on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and our YouTube channel. Post all of our videos, and much more.
That is right. And you can also check out our website, www.marvelbros.com, where you can purchase our merchandise. You can donate to help out what we do here for you guys. And you can join our Discord. And the Discord link is also in the description box of this video below.
Yep.
So make sure you check that out. Join our Discord to stay up to date with all the latest content and discussions that we have. Because we were just talking about Free Guy and Shang-Chi and all this type of stuff in our Discord before we went live. So make sure you guys tune in there. All the links are going to be below, and we will see you guys tomorrow for our Don't Breathe 2 review that we're going to be doing.
It's going to be intense.
So, that one's going to be I think that's the first scary movie that we've or not scary, but the whole A Quiet Place, I guess.
It's a very intense thriller.
Yeah. But yeah, that's when we will see you guys next. We hope you guys are there for the Quiet Place. Damn it. Don't Breathe 2 for our Don't Breathe 2 reaction and review. And with all that being said, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.
Excelsior. Oh.
All of Marvel Bros. Pop culture news updates are now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. You can also watch Marvel Bros. Live every Sunday on Facebook.com, or you can watch them on YouTube, where we upload regularly. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Marvel Bros 23 to keep up with all things Marvel and everything pop culture.